Hello everyone and good day sir. I would like to thank this opportunity to speak and to share my ideas here in our online class. About the question, what do you think the next presidential candidate should prioritize if they win the May 2022 election? Based on what I saw in a previous presidential debates, whoever is elected as the next president of Republic of the Philippines, they should prioritize making their promise on their platform because many Filipino expect to fulfill their promise for the development of our country. And for my opinion, they need to prioritize lower the price of the goods and increase the products of farmers and create more jobs opportunity here in Philippines so that our countrymen no need to go to abroad to find work there and to provide the needs of their families. By the way, I'm Nikki Tijama and thank you for your listening.
The candidates running in the May 2022 presidential election in the Philippines should make the student education as priority issue. In time of pandemic, lots of students stop their studies because of their situation. They prioritize important needs like food to survive. As a student, my prayer is to help them and guide them to pursue their dreams because they are the future of this country. I hope that you have a loving heart and a good leader in this country.
Good day everyone. My name is Raquel Albashite Asoy, one of the members of the Group 4. The road to the White House is long, expensive, and exhausting. Becoming a candidate is only the beginning of the election process. Presidential candidates of 2022, whoever of you wins the position, you should prioritize the employment of every Filipino citizen. Unemployment is one of the causes of poverty in our country. That's why, if the government will give value and priority for providing employment for those who need, then there are no children who will be hungry. There are no beggars in the streets, and the percentage of the poverty in our country, which is the Philippines, will be reduced. That's all. Thank you.
What do you think the presidential candidates should prioritize if they win on May 22 election? The presidential candidates should prioritize the poverty in the Philippines. President need to lower the prices of every commodity and increase the wages of every Filipino to avoid poverty, because one of the things that make people miserable here in the Philippines is expensive goods and low wages. I can say this because I am also one of the poor in the Philippines, and my father only has a low salary every day. Father's salary is not enough because the prices here in the Philippines are very expensive. So, I could not study in college because my father had a salary, just enough for our daily needs. For me, the president should prioritize the poverty here in the Philippines so that there are no poor here in our country. Thank you.
What do you think the presidential candidates should prioritize if they win this upcoming election? Well, whoever will be the next president, he or she should prioritize the education because, as of my experience, it's really hard to the other parents to send their children to school because of the financial problem. So I think the next president should prioritize the lower tuition for students and also a project for those 4 children to study in order for us to have a better future. Because as they say, children is our hope for a better future.
In my own perspective, the candidate who lead as our president in this election in 2022 should prioritize in giving a job to the jobless people, and development policy or procedures not only benefit our wealthy but also under our privilege and transparent as well. The President must make sure to consider the owner and to check them and providing a job to those who are needed despite that we are still in pandemic stage. Because there's a lot of Filipinos who are jobless, and also because of this problem, our fellow Filipinos, they can go to the schools and they can feed their families, and so we'll giving a job to the jobless people so that the President think first should prioritize in 2022.
For me, whoever the presidential candidate be, he must know how to be responsible, heartfelt, kind, and a wise president who know to prioritize the economic development of our country. And also, hopefully, he will offer a variety of good opportunities that can help us all, like providing employment to unemployed, and also giving a free education to all students that cannot afford in studying in college. And he will raise the salaries of all people who work in small or large companies. That's all.
I am going to speak to you about what do you think that the presidential candidates should prioritize if they win the May 2022 election. First of all, we all know that the president of the country is the one who executes the laws, the one who appoints key federal officials, the one who runs the armed forces of the country, negotiates with other countries, and work with progress on the budget. But the question is, what do you think that the president of the country should prioritize if they win this May 2022 election? For me, the new elected president not just prioritize on one aspect of the country, like prioritizing the primacy of the human rights of every Philippine citizen. Instead, he or she must take it all as its top priority. The candidates who will win this May 2022 election must have an ability to manage and run the country. Especially now, as the country experiencing the massive drought in terms of economic matters, he or she must reconstruct and take recovery plan for the infrastructure, increase the production, and find support of livelihood for every Filipino people.
Thank you for giving me opportunity to speak my opinion and perspective. If the presidential candidate win this coming election May 2022, maybe they should prioritize first the employment, higher salary, and food and nutrition security. First is employment. Based on what we observe in our country is lack of employment. Next is higher salary. They should prioritize to higher our salary here in our country because the salary of the Philippines is not enough to provide our daily life. Next is food and nutrition security. Why they should prioritize the food and nutrition security? Because based on what I observe in our country, there are many Filipino children suffered of stunted growth and malnutrition. And maybe they should prioritize that three things that I mentioned. And the most important is we have a good leader and good leader for next president in our country. That's all.
What do you think the presidential candidates should prioritize if they win the May 2022 election? For me, they should prioritize in creating an effective strategic plan when it comes to climate change, like evaluating the country's capacity and policy to manage climate change. Second, they should support more of our micro and macro entrepreneurs the